Hi, it's Sam Tolbert, Sound of Joy Music Services, and we're on to our next viewer request, the hymn, Sweet Hour of Prayer, in the key of F. So let's look at the key of F and the major, got a sticky key there again. The F major scale is where the entire melody is built, and as I instruct on this site, once you know the melody's path, either major or minor or diminished, you can now assign the appropriate chords for the number system users. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1 or octave 8, as I like to call it. Back down, major, diminished, minor, minor, major, minor, minor, and major. And as we all know, chords are built on the scale tones that is found in the major scale of that key. So, Sweet Hour Prayer, when you look at the melody, it has a pentatonic path to it. We'll do it lower. Pentatonic path. Yes, I do have the AI singer, Solaria, already in the queue, helping us to chord a song without having to play the melody. But I always like to start with seeing what the melody path is, and then again applying generic chords. Getting both hands involved. Repeat the chords. Change the pattern. Now, as you can see, the chords are muddy because the range of the key selected puts the chords in a different range. This is why you need to have a singer in the background so you can bring those chords up. Your Sweet Hour of Prayer. That's where it would be the melody. The melody would be top. Now, the channel, Sound of Joy channel, does give you several videos. In fact, I really can't count how many I've placed on it, which shows you how to build chords from a major scale, and then find the progressions, the different genres of music, jazz, R&B, classical, that you can add to particular songs, such as this one. So let's get our singer involved, and then we'll give you the baseline chords, and you'll see them. Here we go.
Sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer that calls me from a world of care and bids me at
just stop right there before we get to the chorus. So already you see that um, generically, which is the way, that, which is, in my point of view, is the best way to train a church musician. Let's give you the generic chords and then build upon. So for the number system users, we've got the one with a flat seven, with the four, a sharp four, which is always going to be a diminished sound in this genre, the five, the six, a major two with a seventh, and a five, and then back to the one. This time we're going to add a three. That's our three. The four, sharp the four, to the five, six, flat the six, five, resolve the five to the five chord, and then to the one. Now these same chords are going to be interchangeable with both the verse and the chorus. So let's go to the chorus.
In seasons of distress and grief, my soul has often found relief and oft escaped the tempter's snare by thy return, sweet hour of prayer.
So as you can see, from a very generic bass line, what I like to call the block chords, which are chords you just play with no movement, let the lead have its place, and just make sure that you have the appropriate block chord in the path of the melody. Now you build upon this. This is when now you begin to attach different movement, the passing chords, the progressions. These now, and there's always been a question that usually pops up. Well, what is a passing chord versus what is a progression? A progression is a path of a group of chords that lead you from one chord grouping to another. This is a chord grouping. Passing or progressing to another chord grouping. Progression back down. The passing chords are a quicker way to get to that grouping. We pass through the three. 1, 3 to the 4 versus progressions. It's just a way of helping musicians to navigate melodies, helping them to be able to quickly get to a chord, or if a chord is held out long, you don't want to get there too quickly. I'll put it like that. It all works within timing. Let's bring up the vocalist again, and we're going to give you a group of progressions and passing chords. I do have it on a loop. Here we go.
Sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer that calls me from a world of care and bids me at my Father's throne.
So you got a majority of progressions, walking up chords, some passing tones. That could be both a passing or progressions. 5, 1, 4. This would be a 3, 2, 4, 5. We'll call those progressions. Passing to get to the 6, passing to get to the 2 by the way of flat 4, 7. So many different genres you can add. Now, again, I never know the skill level of the musician asking for these chords, so I always assume they're at the intermediate level, so I don't have to explain every chord. You have the Chordy app, of course, showing you the notes and the different movements, and you see my hands right on the keyboard. So let's give you one more example of attaching some contemporary chords to the same song. Here we go.
Sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer that calls me from a world of care and bids me at my Father's throne, make all my wants and wishes known. In seasons of distress and grief, my soul has often found relief and oft escaped the tempter's snare by thy return, sweet hour of prayer.
All right, and that is your lesson on Sweet Hour of Prayer for intermediate to advanced musicians. As always, hope you are enjoying these video lessons that we are creating for our Patreon, for our YouTube viewership. We do have a Patreon. As you see, we have a link there where we even give more in-depth videos for our Patreon members, along with some special features. What I'm going to do is what I do share with our Patreon members. They get an audio file to practice music that I put there for them. I'm going to give an audio file of this entire song so that this viewer can at least practice with a pure singing voice. Solaria is the voice we use on our Dreamtronics. I've got the link right here. Let me just shake it around. That's it right there. That's the software we're using. We're getting very good at it. In fact, we've got version 2 coming in a couple of days. It's going to be released where we can get more expressive with our singers. So you're going to be getting some more expressive voices. But our Patreon members get these voices as part of their support for the Patreon page for Sound of Joy. This is a place where you can support me monthly and then receive, I believe it's over 90 files, audio, PDF, MIDI files, and vocal files such as this as part of your support for me. So let's give, for our viewer, a full audio of the voice, and I'll play some of the chords in the background, but you won't hear it, for them to be able to practice on. Here we go. Line up for it.
Sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer that calls me from a world of care and bids me at my Father's throne, make all my wants wishes known. In seasons of distress and grief, my soul has often found relief and oft escaped the tempter's snare by thy return, sweet hour of prayer.
Please consider subscribing to us, becoming a YouTube uh, subscriber, leaving your comment, hit that notification bell, and just as a reminder,